that deficiency, but in her household, her mother was an anti-calorie freak. Her mother was really almost one of these eating disorder kids, right? Her mother's. And so the household had nothing but protein, and water and fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. No carbohydrates, no sugar, absolutely nothing, no fat, no butter, no cheeses, nothing that would make you gain weight. And this girl has these deficiencies, so she put light bulbs into socks and she beat the light bulbs into powder and then eat the powdered light bulbs. Thank God there's no calories in light bulbs, so she never got fat. 3-year-old Natalie Hayhurst from Terre Haute, Indiana. I talked to her parents. I said, I can fix her in a couple of weeks if you want. Oh no, we're going to be on Fox News. True story. There's several things going on here. I want you to notice this kid's cheeks here. She's got gluten intolerance. She's got rosacea. Okay, it's very blatant gluten intolerance. Not absorbing. What do you mean he's not absorbing? Well, he's not absorbing the nutrients, even if you were to supplement them, and so it gives him a raging appetite. Now, calories are easier to absorb. They're very sharp carbon compounds, very easy to absorb. But the nutrients that are missing that cause the munchies are big things. If you have damaged your intestines from gluten, you're not going to absorb them. So malabsorption of the nutrients results in more eating of the things that cause you to gain weight. Okay? Now this is Las Vegas in 1920. Now these girls were told that if you exercise, you're going to lose all that weight. Well, you and I know that's not going to happen, but they were having the time of their life and giggling and thought there was hope. January 2009, Loyola University Medical School in Chicago came out with a 10-year study on exercise. They said big headlines in the scientific journal, exercise will not make you lose weight. Everybody jumped all over. Oh my God, you can't say that. That's not true. When I looked at the data, I said, oh my God, it's true. And so 8 months later, August of 2009, cover story, Time Magazine, the myth about exercise, it will not make you lose weight. Why she have bizarre cravings? She's missing those nutrients. Okay, I'm going to spend just a little time, maybe 5 minutes on this one, and then we'll go on to the next subject. Ivan Ledbetter's from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's a pastor. I met him about 3.5, maybe going on 4 years now. He was 423 pounds when I met him. Got him on our program, got him on the diet, no fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no oil, no gluten, and no sugars and that kind of stuff. Gluten is very important here. And got him on a healthy weight loss pack, and he lost 17 pounds in the first week. First time he ever lost any weight. He was just shocked. 17 pounds in the first week. Then we threw in the ASAP, which is kind of an accelerator to lose weight. Still on the healthy weight loss pack. It's 1 per 100 pounds of body weight, so he took 4 healthy weight loss packs per month. Okay? 4 doses a day. He lost 60 pounds in the first 30 days, lost 2 pounds a day.
Wow.
When we added the accelerator. And in 7 months, he went from 400 pounds down to 165 pounds. That was 3 years ago. And he still has not regained a quarter of an ounce after 3 years because he stayed on the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for his body weight. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. Now, we do this literally thousands of times a month now. We're in 50 countries. One of our biggest things is weight loss programs. It never fails. Once you know the cause of something, you push the right buttons, it never fails. When you have the wrong theory, it's frustrating because it always fails. And so when exercise and dieting didn't work, what did they do? Oh, they went to gastric bypass. Dieting and exercise would work. Everybody's out there dieting and exercising. It should have worked. But that's not the problem. So then they went to the surgery. Then they went to drugs. Then they went to drugs and surgery. Don't work. And there's a behavior in horses called cribbing, where they get the same deficiencies. And they chew on rails in the stall. This little horse and buggy Amish farm just south of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I was there to see the kids in the Amish community with muscular dystrophy, and they were late gathering them up. And so, being a veterinary nanophysician, I went into the barn and looked around. Well, there's a perfect picture of cribbing. called Munchies in People, Cribbing in Horses. And the Chinese did a big weight loss project on women who are obese women in China, which is on one hand rare, but they took hundreds of them because there's lots of Chinese. They gave the experimental group a very heavy multivitamin that contained enormous, mega doses of every nutrient in there. And the ones that got the mega doses of nutrients all lost weight. Okay, arthritis is a simple deficiency of minerals, but it could be caused by malabsorption if you have a gluten intolerance. Right? Even if you're supplemented. Cola is linked to bone breaks because the phosphoric acid in the colas, maybe even diet cola, messes up the balance between phosphorus and calcium. You're supposed to have 2 units of calcium for 1 unit of phosphorus. When you drink colas, it turns it around and it causes your bones to get fragile and you get fractures. Then kidney stones are actually caused by raging osteoporosis, calcium deficiency. You go to a urologist and you say, I've got kidney stones. Okay, first of all, no dairy. Secondly, absolutely no calcium supplements. You're going to have kidney stones every spring. Okay, because it's caused by I found kidney stones in every species of animal, 454 species of animals. Kidney stones are very common in the zoo because they would just give them meat and no vitamins and minerals, or they would give them vegetables and no vitamins and minerals. And so calcium deficiency is very common in all the animals and people we autopsy. Osteoporosis drugs are linked to hip fractures. Okay, what would it be in Fosamax that made it bad? Phosphorus. It was like Coca-Cola. So why do doctors make such a product? Because they're stupid and they don't know anything about nutrition. Osteoporosis occurs equally in both men and women. Now, what's the theory on osteoporosis? Women get it because they have what? They go through menopause, they don't have enough estrogen. So doctors and pharmaceutical companies came up with estrogen, and now we're really good because now we have, what do they call them, formulating pharmacists, or what do they call them?
Yeah, compound pharmacists.
Oh, compounding pharmacists, right. They make special estrogen for you so you can really get breast cancer. But men get osteoporosis really more often than women. It has nothing to do with the hormones. You get on a gluten-free diet, you take your healthy bone and joint pack, you regrow all your bones, your cartilage, your ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and disc between your vertebrae. The human being is like the sands on a beach. You come and you go based on what you eat, what you don't eat, what you get, what you don't get. You're not getting all your right minerals. All your mineral parts of your body, your bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons, connective tissue goes away. And you get lupus, and you get arthritis, and you get bone arthritis, and you get periodontal disease, you lose your teeth because your facial bones are going away, you get peripheral neuropathies, you get numbness and ringing in your ears, and you get numbness and ringing in your feet because pain and burning because you got a back problem, your disc is going away, and the vertebrae smash the roots of the nerves in your feet. And then, of course, the same thing happens to your bladder. You know, when men get up 2 or 3 times a night to take a pee, it's a what problem? Prostate problem. When women get up at night to take a pee 2 or 3 times, it's a what? Irritable bladder syndrome. Both of them are crap diagnoses. Have nothing to do with it. It's always a back problem. Okay. What's your name?
Arlene.
No, not Arlene. The man behind you.
Tim.
Tim.
Yes.
Okay. It just dawned on me you're filming.
Yes. Is that okay?
Well, it's kind of late to ask now. Okay, so what don't you do, at the end, I need you, somebody needs to get his name and phone number here. I need you to give me a copy of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Okay. At any rate, so it's actually a squeezing of the nerves that control the bladder. It's a peripheral neuropathy. Instead of sciatica down your legs, the internal branches of the sciatic nerves control the bladder, both the males and the females. You have degenerative disc disease, the vertebrae get closer together, smash the roots of those nerves, sends a signal to your bladder when you're sleeping. Take a pee. Well, if you're a 9-year-old, you pee in the bed. Then they take you to a pediatric psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
But if you're 25, 30, 40 years old, males, you got a prostate problem, girls, you have bladder problem. My favorite ad on TV is the bladder dragging that woman around looking for a bathroom. You're your bladder dragging that woman around. Oh, and then atrial fibrillation. Have you heard of atrial fibrillation? Fast heart rate, palpitations. That's not a heart problem. It's a back problem between T1, 2, 3, and 4, the first 4 thoracic vertebrae. The discs are shrinking, the vertebrae getting closer together, smashing the roots of the nerves that control the heart. They'll install pacemakers and defibrillators. They will do an ablation where they kill some of your heart muscle, and then none of that's going to work because it's a back problem. And then they will do a retroversion, which they kill you with electricity, they electrocute you to death. Hope to wake you up. 80% of the time they wake you up, 20% of the time they don't. But you sign a paper saying if they kill you, it doesn't matter. You already signed that paper, giving permission to kill you. And then they'll give you a heart transplant. None of it's going to work. They'll run up $500,000 worth of heart procedures, and insurance will pay for it. Medicare will pay for it. There's really a back problem. $3 a day worth of the healthy bone and joint pack would have taken care of it. Regrow those discs, get the pressure off the nerves. Andy Young, rebuilt him. He introduced me to lots of people, including Delisha Jones. Rebuilt her. She went back and got her 3rd gold medal. She was on the women's Olympic basketball team. She's just a cool lady, just love her to pieces. And they allowed me to ask her one question when we gave her a certificate for being an ambassador for women athletes for us for longevity. He said, we need 5 minutes. Well, I asked Delisha a question. Okay, Delisha, I've known you for 3 years, and I had this question, and I was always sort of embarrassed to ask her. Can I ask it now? She said, yeah. I said, okay, Delisha, I need to know. I must know the answer to this question. Okay. This is in front of 1,000 people on the stage. That's Theo Radliff, you see his left side. Okay, he's on the stage too. I said, Delisha, I need to know. Why does a woman who's 6'5" wear 8-inch high heels? And I'm going to show you what she did. She says, Doc, it makes you sexy. Okay. This is from the Harvard Medical School, Department of Orthopedic Surgery. They looked at the records of 300,000 people who had had knee and hip replacements over a 10-year period. Okay? They said knee surgery is worthless for arthritis. That's Harvard Medical School. They said that in July of 2002. So if anybody is told that they need double knee replacement, say, well, wait a minute, let's get another opinion here, right? Cost you nothing for the opinion. And let's get them on the healthy bone and joint pack appropriate for their body weight, get them on a gluten-free diet, and 99.9% of the time they'll never get the surgery. Yeah, what you may do, you see some of you going, you have to leave. If you know what you want already, you can kind of get up and go out and go to the tables out there and come back in. Otherwise, I'll just keep going here. Okay, same thing with back surgery 4 years later. Those same orthopedic surgeons looked at the backs of the same records, the same 300,000 records, and they said surgery for low back pain, sciatica, and so forth is worthless. Type 2 diabetes, the simple deficiency of a single nutrient, single mineral. Now I'm going to explain something here real quickly. This yellow band here is the range of the Pima Indians. This is where the Pima Indians live. This is Mexico. There's the Gulf of Mexico up here, kind of yellow. But right here, this is the mainland of Mexico, and here's the peninsula, right? Cabo St. Lucas is way down here, right? Here's the Gulf, and the Gulf is in Texas. Now this line here is the border between the United States and Mexico, essentially the border with Arizona, right? And there's 10% of the Pima Indian population above this borderline, and 90% of the Pima Indian population below the borderline. Now, the Pima Indians are the only Native Americans who never intermarried or mixed with anybody else. Okay, they're pure. Their genes are pure. Okay, for 1,000 years or more, their genes are pure. They never intermixed with anybody. No other Indians, no explorers. When the slaves were emancipated, they jumped in with most Indian tribes. The Indian tribes treated them really great because they wanted the technology and so forth that they learned hanging out with the white guys. And so nobody wanted to go live out in the desert with no water and eat lizards, right, with the Pima Indians. So they kept straight, okay? So, the interesting thing about this is, in 1971, I'm writing this book. It's in the Smithsonian Institute. There's a front page newspaper article that the Pima Indians in Arizona had the highest rate of obesity and diabetes of anybody in the world. They're attributing it to their genetics. It was 1971. Okay, on your left are the Pima Indians from Mexico. Remember, they're 90% of the population of Pima Indians below the border. Above the border is 10% American Pima Indians. This ain't different. Remember, these are the same genetics, same pure genes. Okay. The ones on the left are Mexican Pima Indians. They're like the Amish. They participate in nothing that the government does. They're subsistence farmers. They only grow enough for themselves to eat. They don't sell anything. They live like the Amish. These are some pottery things that their wives made and are selling on a footpath. They have no roads, no cars, no utilities, no indoor plumbing, nothing modern. And they're all tall and slim. The American Pima Indians are north of that line, and that line is just a line on the map. There's no river, there's no canyon, there's no mountain range, it's just a line on the map. So you step over that line on the map, you're an American Pima Indian. You step over that line on the map, you're a Mexican Pima Indian, right? And in Mexico, the Pima Indians are all, in America, the Pima Indians are all obese, including the kids are obese. Yeah. Look at the kids, the kids are obese. Everybody's obese. They have their pickup trucks and their vans and everything. So what's the difference? Same genes, it can't be a genetic thing. So it's obviously an environmental thing. What is it? Now, hang on, you'll see in a moment.
Still getting funny.
Let's look at the Pima Indian rate. In Mexican Pima Indians, the lowest rate in the world of obesity and diabetes, 6%. American Pima Indians, now, north of that line, BAM! 46%, almost 50% are obese and have diabetes. Now they're genetically the same. They're like 50 feet apart, so what's the difference? You'll see in a moment. So some of this stuff you can get the gist of it just by reading the title. Kids are being born with type 2 diabetes now. 3-year-olds weigh the same as 10-year-olds. Okay, cancer is not genetic in any way, shape, or form. It's usually not formed by the environment in the greater sense. Okay. Cancer is a self-inflicted thing. I said it in 71. Went around the world lecturing on this. My paper's in the Acta Pathologia, a big Danish pathology journal, published in 8 languages. That publication went around the world like 18 times. Okay, that's what kind of got me known around, and they would call me for these other projects off of this one publication. Well, I said at that time, 1971, that inflammation caused obstructive artery disease in the heart and the brain, the eye, and the kidney, and so forth. Not cholesterol, but also the trans fats in these processed meats with nitrates and nitrites in them, bacon and ham and sausage and things like deli slices and sandwich meats and so on, jerky, even jerky, causes inflammation, which can cause clogged arteries and also cause cancer. And everybody just rolled around, Wallach, when are you going to get real? It's cholesterol. They just were way off the beat. Okay. Well, this was the World Health Organization. They came out in October of last year and said, they actually called me from England because it appeared in England the day before it appeared here. They said, guess what, Doc, you're right again. They said, watch your newspapers because it just was the World Health Organization. The FDA didn't say anything. The CDC didn't say anything. The Journal of the American Medical Association didn't say anything. The state medical journals didn't say anything. It had to come from the World Health Organization. Now, this is incorrect. Report links meat with cancer. That's not true. It links processed meats with cancer. It's a big difference. The top 20 cultures on Earth, the ones who live the longest, according to the National Geographic, are all heavy meat eaters. There's no vegetarians or vegans in the bunch. Find me a place where there's 3 generations of flourishing vegans with 100 giggling kids running around. There's always one old guy. I'm the way! I'm a vegan! Where's your tribe? I'm the only one. Yeah, really the way. Let's get rid of this one. Q's sense of humor. Okay, the first conscious prevention of cancer was published in 1912. It was 4 universities got together and gave selenium, 1/5 of a milligram, 200 micrograms of selenium, to people who had cancer and to laboratory animals they were going to give cancer to. What they found was, just with selenium alone, you could reduce the risk of colon cancer by 95% with selenium alone. No other changes. You could reduce the risk of prostate cancer by 69%, breast cancer by 32 to 82%, depending on whose piece of the work you looked at. And they couldn't get it published in a medical journal. They said, we don't want prevention, we want cures. So they had to publish it in Popular Mechanics in 1912.
Oh my God.
That's your medical system at work. Well, in 1998, University of Arizona repeated the exact same experiment, and guess what? Got the same exact results. They published it in the Annals of Medicine, which are very famous, very well respected medical journal. So it finally got its high fiber diets don't cut colon cancer. There's a little false medical theory. Study links well done meet to breast cancer. Now this one was part of the Harvard Nurses Health Study, 90,000 nurses for 20 years, and they said it increased eating meat cooked well done where the fat was brown, just browned, and increased the risk of breast cancer by 482%. 482%, ladies. Do not eat your meat cooked well done. You want to cook your meat medium rare or rare. Do not eat your meat cooked well done. It increases your risk of breast cancer by 462%. And for males, it's similar for prostate cancer. Well done meat may be added to cancer cause list. Yep. In 2001, they repeated the study, found it again. 61% of positive mammograms are false positives.
Yep. Yep. Dang.
Yeah, she was a spokesperson for the American Cancer Society to get women to do mammograms. Didn't help her much, did it? I love this one because this is directed to kids. There's 5 of these billboards on the Beltway around Chicago. I want you to think how many grandkids are killed by their grandmothers who give them hot dogs every weekend when they come to visit them. So they give them microwave popcorn, hot dogs, and Coca-Cola. BAM! They're dead. Genetics has nothing to do with cancer. Arsenic deficiency may be the cause of certain types of leukemia. There's a certain type of leukemia, the most vicious one, acute promyelocytic leukemia. Usually kills you in 6 weeks. You supplement with arsenic alone, arsenic trioxide. They had to stop the experiment after 10 years because you're supposed to die in 6 months, right? 10 years, nobody's sick. They're in permanent remission, right?
Yeah.
This is actually the study was done by the University Medical School of New York University. There's 5 different major dementias. Vascular dementia, the same thing with pleasure arteries in your heart, pleasure arteries in your brain. We're talking about fried foods, processed meats, oils, all the inflammation, gluten. Korsakoff syndrome is a deficiency of a single vitamin. Okay, it's the same vitamin deficiency that causes congestive heart failure. It's not unusual for people to get both at the same time. They might be demented and die of congestive heart failure because they're deficient in the same vitamin. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome is a deficiency of that vitamin, but also has MS, multiple sclerosis mixed in with it. B12 deficiency, dementia is self-explanatory, and Alzheimer's disease is a physician-caused dementia. Okay, it was caused 45 years ago by demonizing cholesterol and saturated fat. 75% of our brain weight, the white matter of the brain, the myelin, the insulation material of the brain, makes up 75% of our brain weight. It's 100% cholesterol. So you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, you take a statin drug, and you can't make enough of your own cholesterol to maintain your brain or to make hormones. You not only have nobody home down here anymore, guys, but you don't even remember there was anybody home there before. first. Then you need 10, 12 eggs a day. It's like 8 eggs per 100 pounds of body weight. Okay? They have to be soft boiled with a soft yolk, coated with soft yolk, soft scrambled butter, no oils, no margarines, no frying, no over easy. Okay? And let's see here. You can actually get poached eggs at McDonald's. That's what I eat at McDonald's. Just poached eggs. They call them round eggs. Just say you want them soft yolk. They clean the grill. They put a iron ring on the grill. They put a couple of pats of butter in there and they crack the eggs in there. Just say, well, just leave it there for 1 minute and take it off of there. That's enough. Okay? And I'll eat 4 of those 2 or 3 times a week at McDonald's. Won't eat anything else there, but that's an emergency. Round eggs are good. At any rate, and then we have synaptive for all of these dementias. I take 2 or 3 of those tablets twice a day. Unless you weigh 300 pounds, and I take 3 times a day, and so on. Also, we have the Smart FX as raw material to make neurotransmitters. And they will never fail to reverse. Korsakoff syndrome, working Korsakoff syndrome, will reverse in like 5 days. I don't care if they've been 8 years. I've had them 8 years. They've been told, the family were told they had terminal Alzheimer's disease. And they gave me little bits and pieces that told me it wasn't Alzheimer's disease. And so I gave them 28,000 times the minimum daily requirement of that one vitamin. 5 days, they got out of their coma and walked out, got dressed, walked out.
Yeah.
True stories. Charlotte, North Carolina. The guy's name is Ray McGregor. When Hillary plans to fight Alzheimer's disease, she says it's an irreversible, progressive brain disorder that no known cause prevents or cure. I will spend $2 billion a year of your tax money to find a cure. I'll take the first $2 billion because I already found them. Claiming the money. So everybody should email her, say, hey, you got the $2 billion, we've got the guy that's already found the cure. Have some fun, email her. Well, I'll split it with you. I just want 10%, you can have the rest. You can prevent it by 78% by a double-blind randomized study. It's probably the best double-blind randomized study ever done in humans. It was a 10-year study, 5,000 humans, 2,500 got the supplement, 2,500 got a dummy pill. All the same people. They all came from Scotland, all the same religion, all ate the same food, all avoided the same food, all lived in the same valley, all farmed like Amish, very conservative, they never ate out. It was perfect. It was like laboratory animals, all the same people. It's the first study I've ever seen like that. Normally they have 5,000 people from New York City. Well, there's 5,000 different people. And nothing in relationship to each other than they live in New York City. I love this story. A 52-year-old guy, 8-year-old mother, they both have Alzheimer's disease, they're both in the same nursing home, they're both on the same cholesterol-restricted diet, they're on the same statin drug, got the same doctor who prescribed all that to him, and he owns a nursing home.
Oh.
Somebody needs to go to jail here.
That's right.
Bam!
Bam! This is from the Salk Institute. Okay, this is why my original Dead Dr. Lie audio cassette tape was so controversial. I was actually sued by every state attorney general because the medical associations went there and said, Wallach is saying that because he wants to dupe all the people in the state to sell his vitamins and minerals. So we just sent him a copy of the newspaper and a copy of the audio cassette tape. They dropped it in 48 states. I had to go and do pretrial hearings in Arizona and Michigan. And then I gave my full presentation to the magistrates in both cases. And they saw I was just using slides from the newspaper, just reading the titles from the newspaper. It wasn't me saying it. I'm First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. And so they dumped the charges after I showed my presentation in Arizona and Michigan. And so all those medical associations had to pay my legal fees.
Yay.
I love it when they do stupid stuff. Okay, this is that study from Johns Hopkins, which showed 10-year study, 5,000 people, that just a supplement program, and a very simple vitamin C and E, but it's a little more complicated because they're all eating the same food, all growing food in the same valley, same minerals and so. We actually had every square foot of that valley analyzed for minerals. We know all the veins and everything. It's all in the book. In fact, the analysis, everything's in the book, Epigenetics. That's why it's a bestseller. People say, there's gotta be genetics, Wallach, I've got 3 generations of diabetics in my family. No, you got a gluten problem. Celiac disease, appendicitis, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, colitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia every winter, eczema, rosacea, dermatitis, psoriasis, infertility, miscarriages. If any of that happens, you don't need to do any tests, you got a gluten intolerance. Now, here's the reason why gluten is so important. This is a 1-year-old rat's small intestine. You can see the finger-like villi sticking up here. They increase the surface area in the small intestine by 95%. Without the villi, it's just kind of like a smooth garden hose in there. You lose an enormous amount of absorbed surface. And this is 6 months on a heavy gluten diet. You see they lost about 50% of the villi, and look at all the scar tissue in there. This is a year on a heavy gluten diet. They lost 95% of the villi, and look at all the scar tissue. How do you get anything absorbed through that? Well, just like Creflo Dollar's daughter, got her on a gluten-free diet, got her the 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids, and praise God, and 2 weeks she was cured. Okay? Because a kid who's that old, maybe 11 years old, her intestines be like that, it's easy in a couple of weeks to go back to here with them. Adults might take you a year to go from here back to here. Because you've been having oatmeal for breakfast every morning for 70 years, eating whole grain breads because some hippie told you it was good for you. Let's look at some of the people who died from gluten intolerance. Glenn Fry, that is 67, Eagles founder, Hotel California, my favorite.
Yeah. Heartbreaking.
Elvis Presley died having a bowel movement. He died with a cardiomyopathy heart attack on the pot. He'd been constipated all his life because he had a gluten intolerance. Michael Jackson, the one who should have gone to jail for his death was the nutritionist who kept him on a multigrain diet. I met her after he died, and she said, I don't know why he was sick. He got him on the perfect multigrain diet. Well, every time he would come back from a tour, he'd have to spend a month in a hyperbaric chamber, the IVs coming through there to hydrate him and feed him. And he'd come back, and he was right, 100%. There was no gluten in an IV. And he gets out of the hyperbaric chamber, and she puts him on a heavy multigrain diet again. Well, he didn't dye himself or bleach himself to look white. Remember, when he was a little kid, he was a very black kid. He was a very dark kid. Jackson 5. Yep. And over time, he became whiter and whiter and whiter, not because he's bleaching himself, because he couldn't absorb the nutrients necessary to make skin pigment.
Wow.
Now, he shaved his head because his hair was snow white. He's wearing a wig. All that hair is a wig. Okay? And that's because he couldn't absorb the minerals required to make skin pigment and hair pigment. Well, and he